Live again. There's a person who has to pull out in front of me and go slower than I was going. I rushed to get out there, but let me just go ahead and slow down since I'm on the main highway. Anyway, it is what it is. Welcome back, everybody. Doing a quick pop in live on the drive. Proudmasculine live on the drive. I hope this video finds everybody in a good place, good spirits, good health, peaceful, productive, all these good things. So today we're going to get in. I'm just going to do a quick run through about, standards in a healthier relationship. The standard expectation, maybe, I don't know. I hate to say expectations, but the standard and what to look out for with top women and the situation of the whole dynamic of standards. So you hit that like if you're long enough and you like what you hear, and hit that subscribe. I'm gonna be coming back regular here. I made the announcement video the other day. had to step back for a little bit. It's necessary. Take a little step back to actually to improve the channel, reassess things, so that's good. But I'm back, and I just had something come into my heart that I wanted to talk about. My best ideas and topics and streams have come from me driving. And I know if I try to save this and do it later on, I'm going to lose it. I got to pull up to this toll booth right here and pay the toll. That's why I'm through the topic. I'm going to pay this toll and we'll jump right in it. So bear with me. Remember to hit that like if you're coming in. I'm going to put you down for a second. I got to pay the toll lady. Good morning. At 6. Thank you. All right, there we go. What's up, Jonathan Murphy? How you doing? Good morning to you. So anyway, topic about standards. And guys, this whole thing, here's the thing. You're going to want to date. You're going to want to do things as a man and have a life partner, a helpmate, so to speak. Radha, my girl, look at that. How did you do with your competition? Everybody, Radha, my admin, my soldier girl from Alaska. No, I haven't been on, Radha. I had to take a little step back for a minute. I put my first video out the day before yesterday. Back in about 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks, I guess. So you didn't miss nothing. So anyway, all right, let's just jump right on it. Oh, she passed the rug. Yeah, I told you what. I don't think you have anything to worry about. Oh, guess what, Radha? Junior's going to, Junior's looking into joining the military. Can you believe that? My son. Anyway, I don't want to speak too much out of school. I don't know exactly what's going on yet with him. Well, good. 18 miles in 4 hours. That's a hike. That's pretty quick, huh? 18 miles in 4 hours. So you figure what? Walking is a 13-minute mile? I can't do that math in my head. Get out of here. I'll just tell you, good job. And thank you for your service, as always. Holding it down in Alaska for the red, white, and blue. True patriot, y'all. So anyway, let me jump in this thing because this bridge is 24 miles long, and then I got about 3 miles after that. So my arm's already hurting from holding this camera. In my old truck, I had a mount. I don't have that anymore. So I gotta hold it and do all that shit. I'm over the Lake Pontchartrain. See this bridge? Causeway Bridge. Longest bridge in the world. Look it up. It spans 24 miles over water, over Lake Pontchartrain. Connects the North Shore, Mandeville, to the South Shore of Metairie. Back in the day, only the affluent could take a ferry to the North Shore. So they built a bridge for the common folk to get back and forth. Think back in the 60s. Up until then, you had to ferry to get to this place. Now you go the back way from the interstate, but anyway, enough of the fucking history lesson, huh? Let's get into the topic. Well, Ryder, the person he's talking to is Army. He's a special forces guy, intelligence, who's mentoring a friend of mine. So I kind of shoved him Army a little bit. I really did. I kind of nudged him in that direction. So anyway, so look, guys, you're going to want to date. There's a few things you're going to want to do in your life as a man. One of those is to have somebody to build a family, start a life, build a family, build a life with. And I think what we've lost sight of, especially in modern dating and these new modern social dynamics, and in this modern social climate, is what does that look like? So you notice I use the word somebody to build with, a helpmate, somebody to build a family, start a life. And this is why it's so important that you understand yourself, your own nature, your own strengths, and you understand female nature, and be able to pick and select, healthy women. Because as a man, you're going to build. And what you don't need while you're building is opposition. You either need somebody who's going to be neutral. Like, this is my standard. If you're not going to be supportive and helpful, like, I don't necessarily need that. But at the very minimum, be neutral. Stay out of the way. Don't make shit more difficult for me than it already is. And women have a hard time seeing life through a male perspective because they just can't. And that's okay. That's not a judgment. I can't see the world through a female perspective either. It's not expected of either one of us to. But being able to, at the bare minimum, fundamentally understand how it works is. And this is why we're seeing such an epidemic of a dysfunctional society and dysfunctional men, is because there's been an epidemic of single mothers raising boys into men. And they do the best they can. I was raised by a single mother, and you know how much work I had to do to unfuck all of that dysfunction and mess? Thinking that taking horrible advice from a woman about how to handle life as a man, it doesn't work the same. We don't get results the same way. Society doesn't look at us the same way. I'll give you a quick example. I worked when I was in corporate oil and gas, and we had, it was a co-ed. It was, back in the day, it was a male-driven workforce, oil and gas, roughnecks, refinery workers. And slowly over time, with the new, you know, policies of hiring minorities, hiring women, affirmative action, a minimum quota, and they kind of shoved and fought, the new rise in feminism that, women get the same opportunities as men and all this, and they would force these women into these male-dominated spaces where, you're exposed to danger. And it's like, it was a male-dominated workforce for a reason. Right, Ryder, that's my whole point. That's my whole point. And it's statistics. It's not just me bad-mouthing women, because I'm not. I'm just spitting facts here. You look at the statistics of young men who are in jail. It's over 85% or there who are raised by single moms. Kids with mental illness, kids on medications, kids falling back in school, the uneducated, it's all raised by single moms. And it's been overwhelmingly proven that single father or nuclear family children come out to be healthier, more productive, adjusted, mentally, emotionally, physically healthier people, and more successful. But I'm not here to bash ladies. I'm not. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to inform you men as to what it's going to be like, your path, and finding your purpose and living that and carrying out your purpose and your dreams. Oh, back to the example at the refinery. So at the refinery, the men, some of the units that were worked according to the process in which crude oil is stripped and distilled down into different hydrocarbons and petrochemicals, there's different units, and some were more demanding physically than others. But when you're a man in this place with the women who get equal pay, equal all that, but they were never expected to do the top physical stuff. Like, you used to have these tall distillation towers, and to do work on them, there was this long process. You had to climb up to the top with this little steel ladder, or any vessel, or the top of a derrick, 220 feet in the air. I've done it in a rainstorm to reset the switch. Literally just take a switch that I had to move with my finger in the middle of a blowing rainstorm in the middle of winter. But women were never expected to do that. And then if a woman during the middle of a big project said, I'm having lady problems, or my kid's not, I don't have a babysitter, or I don't feel well, they were like, oh, honey, go tend to your child. Oh, honey, go take a break. Oh, honey, it was always a soft, go take care of yourself, baby, go do what you got to do. As a man, I came in with pneumonia. And I've seen other people do it too, that we'd come in fucking dogged out sick, working 50, 60 something days in a row, just wore out. And you work around so many people, sometimes somebody's disgusting ass didn't wash their hands. They bring in some kind of flu, pneumonia. I had pneumonia. And I call up the medical. They'd say, call your supervisor. Call the supervisor. Yo, man, I can barely breathe. I can't stand up. And so I need to go on. I need to go to the doctor. You go to the doctor when you get off. What, you can't just suck it up here? What do you need? You need some Vagisil? You need some maxi pads to put on? Man, suck it up. And they'd hang up on your ass. And that's illegal. I was in a union. You can't do that. They don't give a fuck. But there's always a different standard. And that's, one of the tactics of a woman getting what she wants is playing the innocent damsel in distress. Oh, I can't do it. Please help. And it's a man's instinct to jump in and say, hey, I'll take care of it. Don't you worry. And, that's how to get results. I've seen my mother do it. I was raised by been around, well, I can't do this. And some guys are going to come run along and say, oh, I'll get it for you. Oh, thank you so much. You're so strong. You see women not get it out. Oh, you're such a big, strong man. You're so helpful. Anyway, what's up, B-Rabs? So anyway, I'm kind of losing focus on the topic. I don't want to get too far off. Being that the whole long story is to drawn out example is to say to you, life happens to men different from women. We get results different from women. If a man says, "Oh, I can't do it," then you're like, "Get the fuck out of here, you sissy. Go figure it the fuck out. What are you crying about? Go get it. Take care of it." So when you go out to conquer your life, build your life, and live your purpose, you're going to be met with resistance. Resistance from just nature naturally. Then you're going to have other people out there that are building and going in the same direction you're going in. You're going to have people that are ahead of you, people that are competing with you for the same stuff. This is what competing, that's a great word to surmise it. That as a man, you're going to compete for everything that you get. When you get something on your own, you've earned it. You've done everything you had to do better than the next guy to get what you needed to get and get where you're going. And this is what makes a man's journey so much different. You got to go out there and earn your spot in the world as a man. If you want to be a highly successful man, you're going to have work to do. And you're going to have some other driven, A-type personality motherfuckers nipping at your heels constantly. Because they have people that are willing to do what you're not willing to do and do it better without complaining. And that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that's the beauty in being a man and accomplishing things as a man. And once you lock onto your purpose, it doesn't matter who's doing what, when, where, how. When a man's locked in and he knows why he wants to do it and he has a strong why, he doesn't give a fuck. It's getting done. You can't stop a man who is passionate about pursuing his purpose. You can't stop him. But the opposite is a man with excuses, you can't do anything for him. There's nothing you can do to help that man. He'll always have a reason why he can't or didn't, or he's always have an excuse. But anyway, my point is, and this can happen at any stage and phase of life, particularly when you're younger. And here's what's important about the dating aspect of this and having a woman in your life is that woman in your life is either going to lubricate you from lubricate the process of you being who you are into the man you're going to become. She'll either lubricate that and be there as a supportive role and help you recognize your strength and transition into that as you go through the process, or she will be there to inhibit it. This is why it's so important, guys, to understand who you're dating and understand the characteristics of an unhealthy person. And people who are women in your life are going to be there to hold you back, because a toxic woman in your life can destroy you, ruin your life. And then, so say you do build through that. And I think it's important to have somebody that in the beginning of your journey to have with you that you can truly say, she accepted me for who I was when I had nothing. Because as a man, that's your fucking, like it or not, I don't want to hear, well, everybody's special. Yeah, sort of. Like, yeah, I'm glad you're alive and all, but if you don't bring shit to the table, you're nothing as a man. Women are given their value inherently when they're born. Men, we have to earn every second of our shit. So just because you were born doesn't mean you get to marry a supermodel and be a millionaire. You gotta fucking get after that. A woman, on the other hand, can be born pretty and be a millionaire by default because of who she marries, right? And you better believe you never see a woman higher up pick up a man who's beneath her and put him on the path. You won't see that. It doesn't work like that. See a guy, a millionaire, sports figures, athletes, you see it all the time. Successful businessmen, millionaires, date a yoga instructor or a waitress or something like that, put her through school, set her up, marry her for the rest of her life. Her life has changed because of that guy. You'll never see a woman lend her hand down. You'll never see a successful millionaire woman offer herself to a McDonald's cashier. Right? You get what I'm saying? It's just not the way it works. But anyway, having a woman building with you, it's and when you meet somebody and there's something there authentically from the beginning, when you have nothing, and then she's with you through the process, then through the creative and all the bumps and bruises and the struggles and the highs and the lows, then you make it on the other side, in part because of her encouragement and her presence in your life. That's a keeper. And that's somebody who, as a man, that's the women whose lives are changed and transformed. The reward on the other end of that is that woman's going to be taken care of for life because of what she contributed to that man. And that's how it should be. That's my philosophy. Like, you with me through my building phase, you see who I am when I had really nothing, financially or, materially to offer. And you stuck with me because of who you saw I am as a man. And you encouraged me and reminded me when things got tough of who I am and see the strengths in me at times that I would lose sight of. On the other end of that struggle, when you reach at some point some waypoint of that destination, that person has my undying love, loyalty, and respect. My commitment. Now, don't come in the beginning talking about you, like you better than me, or you better than because you happen to be in a different place at the moment. And then when I get to the top, then come circling back around. Because I've had that happen. Matter of fact, it was a few months ago she hit me back, an old ex of mine. And of course, I was like, no, that's not happening. But this is years ago. I was just starting out. I was just getting out of the corporate America, starting my own business. And I made really good money in oil and gas. And this one was just starting school. And I did a lot to help her. And well, lo and fucking behold, I'm branching out on my own. I'm giving up the corporate. I'm turning my back on the corporate life. I'm going to do my own thing. I had a strong intuition to go pursue something else, to go pursue something that I'm passionate about, that I really enjoy doing. And it was a few things. Well, guess what? As I wasn't pulling in as much money as I used to, and sometimes I would just be flat broke. Because that's what it looks like when you start a business from scratch. You go broke sometimes, and you got to struggle a little bit. Well, here she is progressing through school, through dental school. She's becoming a dentist. Well, I'll be damned if she didn't start thinking she was better than me. Just like that, and you can tell in that behavior. I know it like the fucking day is long. Exactly when that's happening. The disrespect starts coming in. The emotional coldness, the cocky attitude, the distance, the voice changes, the stare, the indifference. So lo and behold, relationship started hitting. We hit some rocky times, and so now I'm trying to build this empire with a relationship that's on the rocks. A woman who's just constantly fucking at odds with, making things as difficult as she possibly can because she's not getting her way. Now she's seeing herself as, well, I can do better than this. This guy's struggling. So lo and behold, the relationship ends. Well, guess what happened? Yeah, she went and graduated dental school. She got with some other guy she thought was the bee's knees. Turned out to be a fucking bum loser. Um, and I didn't wish any of that, but when it got to that point, like, okay, you made your fucking decision. And I even told her, like, look, I know where you're at, I know what you're doing. Here's why, I understand. I was very rational about it. I didn't beg or anything. I said, but look, you're probably going to regret this. Things are not what they appear to be right now. You're on a high because you've accomplished something, a great thing in life. I applaud you for going to dental school. That's a hard school. That's a doctor. And, you're being exposed to different things. You're probably exposed to more than you ever have in your life. She's from a small town. And you're getting accolades and noticed, and you're accomplishing things while it seems like I'm going nowhere. So that's just temporary. That's part of the building process. I said, but look, if you bail on me now, don't come circling back when things are going well for me again. Like, she was there when things were well, didn't like it so much when things weren't. So she said, I understand. And I said, look, once you put somebody above me, then I'll never see you the same. When you leave, when you come back, I'm not going to be in the same place you left me. And I meant that with all my heart, and I still do, because she circled back. And, we messed around a little bit. It was nothing serious. But I even told her, because she tried one night, like, hey, look, I know I made a big mistake. And, here comes the book of excuses. I was so caught up in school, it was so stressful, and you were doing this, and I just wasn't in the right headspace. I don't know what I was thinking, but, I've dated a few guys. I have not met a man like you since then, and I think I'm a different person now. I realize my mistakes, and I know I hurt you, and I know I did. I'm like, oh, well, thank you for saying that, but that ain't fucking happening. Like, that's the way I am. You want to build with me? When I get to where I'm going, you're not going to have to worry about anything. Anything. If you work against me, it's going to fall apart anyway. But then you start thinking and including the disrespect, level of difficulty in my life, just ramping it up, and all these shitty things that women do when they start thinking they're better than you. And like, when I get where I'm going, I'm going to resent you, and I'm not going to want to give you shit. I'm only going to remember how hard it was without you, and then how much harder, how much more difficult you made it for me to succeed when you had an opportunity to be there, and at the very least be neutral. Like, you don't have to, I don't need a fucking pep talk every night and all this and that. Just, when times are hard, don't be part of the fucking problem. And moral of the story, guys, the woman you pick can be a helpmate, or she can be a destroyer. And which essentially means the woman you decide to spend your life with and commit to and marry or even get into a really serious long-term relationship where you're living together and stuff, can be your greatest move or the biggest contributor to your demise and things not working out. So pay attention for things, characteristics, behaviors. How do they handle a disagreement? How do they perform and show up when things get rough and you have a little tick? Like when shit gets really hard and you're like missing, you got no money in your account, you got 3 or 4 checks out that people aren't paying yet, and you got jobs running behind, and you're stressed and you're tired, and you can't show up fully. Pay attention to how she is when that happens. If she loves you, she'll know. She's gonna know anyway. She's gonna know something's off. But if she loves you, she's gonna say, "Hey, look, you look a little bent out of shape. You look a little stressed. What's going on? Talk to me." And you'll give her the same old, "Nothing. It's fine. Nothing I can't handle." And she'll just tell you, "Hey, look, I don't know what it is. You don't have to tell me. Just know I'm here for you, though. And I believe in you." That's when you know you got to keep her. Something along those lines. What you need to watch out for is what's bothering you. Yeah, you got something going on. Yeah, baby, I'm tired. I'm stressed. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, let me tell you something. If this and this, let's destroy it, fellas. It doesn't get any better after that. It gets worse and worse and worse. If she's showing that kind of shit in the beginning, eject immediately. You'll never get ahead. You'll never measure up. She'll never be satisfied. You will be spending all of this energy you need to build and grow on her, trying to half-ass iron out this relationship. That's never going to work. Find somebody who's forgiving, who has moderately good conflict resolution skills, non-confrontational. Somebody who loves you enough to tell you that the good things that they notice about you. That's important. That's important. See what them toxic ass women will do. They'll line up your replacement, brother. They'll make sure they got somebody in the pocket. And they ain't gonna break up with you. They're gonna slowly start a series of disrespect, confrontation, disappearing, purposeful, uh, defiant behavior, purposefully doing things that you don't like, that they know you don't like, know that they'll cross your boundaries, get exponentially more and more disrespectful to shove you out the way. They show up cold and uninterested, very demanding, and you'll know it when you see it. She begins that behavior, she's already on the way out. She's found somebody else she's interested, or she's starting to think that she can do better than you. That's your signal to get the fuck, because nothing's going to get better from there. Secretly, she's in her mind comparing you to other people that she thinks she could do better with, and she starts to resent you, and you're thinking like, what the fuck, why is she acting like this? Because she thinks she's better than you now, and she can do better. So instead of just telling you, hey, I'm going to go do better than you, because this is how women operate, she's going to line up your replacement and drive you away through a series of disrespect, defiant behavior, difficult behavior, the way you just can't stand it anymore. And they're just going to find a way to blame it on you when you do actually pull away. And then she's going to say, well, the relationship wasn't in good standing and you weren't present. I had to get attention from somebody who knew how to give it to me. They'll say some shit like that. So the point being, save yourself a lot of heartache and heartbreak and grief. Focus on your fucking purpose. When a woman does come along that you learn to like and grow, and she'll reveal what you need to see after a few months. You really get to see when you hit a low spot how she performs and how she shows up. Is she the one kneeling down next to you? Hey, look, you're just going through something. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. We're going to go through this together. Do what you got to do. If there's anything you need, you let me know. I'm here for you. That's all she needs to do. And just by her doing that gives the situation like a energy boost, a shot in the arm to speak. Yeah, I got this. I got this. The nagging ass woman say, oh my God, what's wrong now? It just deflates you even more. What, you don't know how to do your business? Why do you always look tired? Man, all this shit. It just sucks the fucking life out of you. And what's going to happen is you're going to take, and this is, naturally what happens, you start taking a relationship serious and you invest in your time and energy and attention into the relationship. That's going to steal. It's going to steal from you. It's going to drain you. And you're not even going to have the baseline needed, the minimum required energy to the minimal required energy to fulfill your day to day. That's just a reality. So be careful. That's it. I should have done this sitting down. I wish I could have articulated my points and been a little more clear driving. Because I got to drive and think about the stuff I'm saying and glance down at the comments, the chat. But that's all right. I think I got the point across. It was good to be able to hop on for a little while. It really was. Guys, I really miss doing this. This is one of the things that I love doing is live streaming and content creation. It's a passion of mine. And thank y'all for being understanding, and thank you for coming back. Thank you for sticking around. It's good to know you have a tight support system around you, where a community. It's a good feeling for anybody. I encourage you to join the Proudmasculine community. Subscribe, hit that notification bell when we get these live streams back up and running on the regular. You see, I got a lot of good people that show up in the chats. Really good, tight-knit community, full of good people, men and women. This is designed to be a men's channel, but I've taken on a lot of women subscribers. As a result, I've actually done sessions and did coaching with a few women. But that's also encouraging me to know that there's both men and women who are seeking to grow and level up and want to right the wrongs of society, and women who want to be the traditional role of women and men who want to traditionally be the role of men with a modern twist on it, And it's good. I'm glad to be able to facilitate that. And so that's it. Well, it kind of worked out good. I'm going to pull up right where I need to be. Let me read this comment real quick. Quiet King. So from now on, I'm not drinking until December. That's just 2 drinks total per week, 2 months until summer, 2 a week. Dude, if you got to do math about it, Kings, you probably shouldn't be drinking. That's my philosophy. If you got to calculate and overthink it, just don't fucking drink. What do you think you're missing? What, 2 days a week where you put poison in your body? Just don't drink. The concerning thing is that you've put this much time, effort, and energy to calculate drinks and months and all. That's a red flag, buddy. Don't drink. B. Rab said, thanks for the knowledge. I wish to share your knowledge with other misguided men. Thank you, B. Rabs. B. Rabs, one of my little community members. Great contributor. Good to have you around, buddy. You too, Quiet King. Good to see you. Yeah, quit fucking boozing. Shit's no good for you. There's no upside to putting alcohol in your body. Just so y'all know. You can do other things to get relief from stress. You can go fucking work out. You can eat healthy. You can sleep better. You can, go take up a good constructive hobby and get dopamine and fulfillment that way. Alcohol is poison. It's evil. That's why they call it spirits. Did you know that? That's why it's called spirits. And it is the elixir of the devil. Yeah, if you got to put that much energy and effort and focus into it, just don't drink. Don't touch the shit. That's not going in the right direction in any way, shape, or form, I promise you. But great. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. If you have not yet, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Be on the lookout. I don't have my Telegram group where I usually post a live link. I don't have it linked in this chat because I'm driving. But stay tuned for the next one, and I hope at least turn your notifications on. You ought to get something. But great seeing everybody. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. I got to jump out, so